It started as a routine drive, the kind you don't even think twice about. Before we dive into the story, go ahead and smash that like button. Drop a comment. I love reading them, they mean a lot to me. And if you haven't subscribed yet, hit that subscribe button now so you can join us on this journey. Alright, let's get into our story. Until the flashing lights appeared behind Miranda's car and everything quietly shifted. She pulled over on an empty stretch of road, heart steady at first, but that calm didn't last long. The officer who approached her window didn't act the way she expected. His tone was off. His questions felt unnecessary, and the way he looked at her made her skin crawl. Something wasn't right, and Miranda sensed it instantly. When he asked her to step out of the car, she did, trying to stay calm, telling herself not to jump to conclusions. But then he told her to open the trunk. No explanation. No reason. Just a command. As he started going through her belongings, Miranda felt exposed, confused, and strangely targeted. What he didn't know was that every second of this interaction was being quietly recorded. Hidden in plain sight, pinned to her blouse, was a delicate flower-shaped brooch, and inside it, something no one would ever expect. At one point, the officer reached up and turned off his dashcam. That single move sent a chill through Miranda. Why would he do that unless he didn't want a record of what was happening? She stayed quiet, watching, letting the moment play out, knowing that whatever this was, she needed proof. Later that day, she found herself sitting inside a police station, replaying everything in her head. When she was finally allowed to show the footage she had captured, the mood in the room changed instantly. Officers leaned in, faces tightening, as the video revealed behavior that shouldn't have happened. That recording became her lifeline. It cleared her name. She was released. But freedom didn't bring peace. One question refused to leave her mind. What was that officer really looking for? And why her? To understand how she ended up there, you have to rewind a little. Years earlier, Miranda's life had already been shattered once. Her husband vanished without explanation, leaving behind questions, silence, and a luxury car that never quite made sense. No note, no closure, just absence. She was left to raise their daughter alone, juggling grief and responsibility, with no time to fall apart. Life didn't slow down for her pain. Bills still came. School runs still mattered. Survival took priority. By the time the traffic stop happened, Miranda had been unemployed for weeks. When she finally landed an interview, it felt like a small miracle. The morning before it, after dropping her daughter at school, she heard the doorbell ring. When she opened the door, no one was there. Just a small cardboard box sitting on her porch. Light, almost empty. Inside was a flower-shaped pin, elegant and oddly familiar. There was an engraving on it, too small to read. She didn't overthink it. She pinned it to her blouse and went on with her day. The next morning, something felt different. She woke up unusually focused, clear-headed, ready. She wore the pin again. This time, in better light, she noticed something strange. A faint blue glimmer at its center. Hidden inside was a tiny camera. Not long after, while driving, she heard a soft beeping noise coming from somewhere in the car. Subtle, easy to miss, but unsettling. Still, she made it to the interview, and when she walked out 45 minutes later, she was smiling. It had gone well. Really well. For the first time in a long while. She felt hopeful. That hope didn't last. On the way to pick up her daughter, she saw flashing lights ahead. Traffic slowed. Officers waved cars through one by one. When it was her turn, she explained she was in a hurry. The officer looked at her side and said, "This could take a while." His tone wasn't neutral. It was dismissive. Then he told her he didn't believe the car was hers. A Ferrari, driven by a woman like her, apparently didn't add up in his mind. She explained everything calmly. About her husband, about the car, about her situation, but instead of easing the tension, it seemed to irritate him. He walked away. That's when Miranda remembered the pin. She subtly adjusted her posture, angling herself toward the officers, letting the camera do its job. When they came back, they asked her to open the trunk. She hesitated. Something about the request felt wrong. She refused at first. That only made things worse. Voices rose. Pressure mounted. Eventually, she gave in. When the trunk opened, Miranda froze. The cardboard box was there, the same one from her porch. The officers saw it, and immediately changed their tone. She was placed in cuffs. Her rights were read. She was taken in at the station, in a cold interrogation room. They opened the box, and pulled out something that made her blood run cold. A gun. She had never owned one, never touched one. Her voice shook as she tried to explain, but the words felt useless. Nothing she said seemed to matter. She was placed in a cell and left there for hours. Then, suddenly, she was told her bail had been paid. By who? Her mother hadn't done it. She couldn't afford it. That left one impossible question. When Miranda got home, the answer was waiting in her mailbox. A letter, written in handwriting she knew. Instantly, her husband's. He admitted to watching over her, to leaving the pin, to crossing a line he shouldn't have. He told her to watch the footage. When she did, everything became clear. The video showed the trunk opening, the box inside, empty. And then, unmistakably, one of the officers slipping the gun inside. Miranda didn't hesitate. She took the footage straight to the station. The captain watched it in silence, promised to look into it. But something in his response felt slow, careful, too careful. So Miranda did the only thing left. She shared the video online, and the internet did what it does best. The footage spread fast. People were outraged. Support poured in. The pressure became impossible to ignore. The officers involved were fired. Investigations followed. Accountability finally arrived. Miranda didn't do it for revenge. She did it so no one else would ever be put in that position again. And as for her husband, the questions surrounding him only grew deeper. Where he was, why he vanished, how much he really knew. That, however, is a story still unfolding.